we believe, at least many of us believe, that what is going on the floor today is incredibly important in terms of what the U.S. role should be as it relates to any conflict in Yemen and extracting the United States from that role. And Senator Murphy's been an integral part of this on the committee for some time, and today is part of the fruition of his advocacy. But at the end of the day, we also believe that that won't end, number one, the war in Yemen, that there are additional steps that have to be taken that are meaningful, such as those called for under the legislation that would provide sanctions to anyone who stops humanitarian relief into Yemen, that would have sanctions on those providing assistance to the Houthis, that would suspend arms sales to Saudi Arabia, and that would have sanctions, global mandatory Magnitsky sanctions for human rights abuses, most particularly the death of Jamal Khashoggi, and for whoever that might be, and I think we collectively believe that is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Those are some of the elements of the legislation that we believe both advocate to move towards a resolution of the Yemen conflict, and at the same time sends a global message that just because you're our ally, you cannot kill with impunity and believe you can get away with it. That's a global message that we need to send, and at the end of the day, if we don't send that message, then I worry for what path we move ahead.
The current relationship with Saudi Arabia is not working for America. They have been strategic allies and could be in the future. But right now, it is more of a burden than it is an asset. And why do I say that? This country, led by the de facto leader as the Crown Prince, has been a wrecking ball. And the Khashoggi incident is just one of many, but the most egregious, and I think most people can relate to why we're upset. To be an ally of America, I think more is expected from you, not less. If you want to integrate your economy into ours, there are certain things you have to accept, like the rule of law. If you want to buy our weapons, there are certain things you have to accept. How you use them matters. So I just want everybody in the region to know that if you're thinking about doing what MBS did and you want to have a relationship with the United States, good luck. It's not going to happen. I want to let the President know that I think you're right about Saudi Arabia having been a strategic ally, and they could be in the future, but I think you're wrong about what's going on here. The reason I am supporting this approach next year is I'm never going to let this go until things change in Saudi Arabia. This is coming from the biggest supporter of the relationship in the past. Myself and Senator McCain sometimes have had the lonely job of defending this strategic relationship in the past. But as to me, those days are over, because what's going on in Saudi Arabia between the Khashoggi murder, and MBS is complicit in it, the dismembering of Yemen, the imprisonment of the Lebanese prime minister in the most bizarre thing I've seen in 20 years, the embargo of Qatar without any notice to us as a nation where we have 13,000 troops. Enough is enough.